Ever wondered what truly sets unforgettable hospitality apart from just another stay? This is the Global Hospitality Collective podcast, where we go beyond the surface to uncover the stories of short-term rental and vacation rental leaders who are reshaping our industry. Every other week, authors behind the Hospitable Host book series unpack the real strategies, lessons, and heart-led decisions driving meaningful change in hospitality. So if you're ready to challenge the status quo and elevate the way you host, you're in the right place. Let's dive in.
Hi, everybody. This is Tanya with the Global Hospitality Collective podcast, and I'm really excited for my guest today because I freaking love her. And I've known her for a while because of Hospitable Host book series. She is actually author from one of the first book. She's in chapter 19, and I'm excited to get into some nitty gritty with her because I love the way she hosts and I love her in general. So without further ado, Kim Herrlein. How are you today?
I've been doing well, Tanya, and I love you back, girl.
I had some people that I've actually gotten to podcast with. I haven't actually known most of them, so this is real fun. I actually know.
Yes.
Okay, tell the people listening what you got going on right now, like not what you wrote in the book, but right now.
Yeah, so I am still owner of Purveyors of Leisure, still have a number of vacation rentals. Our niche has been large group travel for many years, and that means basically homes 6+ bedrooms and up. And that's primarily in Southern California, in Palm Springs area, California. And we also have a hotel in Northern California named the Fainting Couch. And we also host and manage another hotel in Wyoming named the Elk Antler. So yeah, a lot of exciting stuff. Still doing the thing.
Awesome. How long have you been hosting for, or how long have you been in the hospitality business?
I have been in the hospitality business for 11 years, going on 12, and we jumped right into a very large property to start, and it happened to be across the street from the Coachella Music Festival grounds. And so we got off running. We're like, wow, this is incredible. This is very lucrative, and haven't stopped.
Oh, that's so awesome. So tell me a little bit about the stuff that you do while hosting. Like, what makes you extra hospitable compared to other hosts?
Well, like I mentioned, the large group travel is really a whole nother animal, because if you think about it, when you've traveled with your group of friends or family, especially multi-generations, there's a lot of pressure on the person who's doing the booking. And so we saw that early on because people wanted, obviously, everyone's spending money, everyone's taking off time to spend time together. And there's a lot of pressure for the person looking for the perfect place. And we took note of that early on. And so right away, we became very hospitable. We would reach out as far as you can't instant book our homes. We've always been a request to book. And we would vet, a lot of vetting questions as well. We're pretty picky as far as really making sure that we don't have wild parties, because these are houses that are 10, 11 bedrooms on 2 acres and definitely call for a potential party. Mm-hmm. And so we have a host that meets you at your check-in, which is very different in this day and age. And we saw from that point on that the combination of checking in with people along the way before they actually booked, and then having them have a point guard, somebody that literally they think they're speaking just to them, the host, but it's obviously our whole team. And so then we can triage like what needs to be done, whether it's something we could help troubleshoot, kind of online versus having to send somebody back out. But it's really been we've worked with the same people, at least in this region, for the whole time, our housekeeping and our maintenance team, which really makes a huge difference because we're just all in business together. That's what it feels like, right? And I think the guests really feel that. There's such pride in our hosts and our housekeeping that when they meet the guests, it's just, they feel like they're welcoming them to their home It's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
no, that's super awesome. Has there been things? So we actually have a couple of large houses as well. We have a 5 bedroom and a 6 bedroom for our area. That's pretty big. There are
Right.
some in our area that are bigger, but not a ton. Can you tell me, are there any like little things that it's like if you have more than 6 bedrooms, this is something you have to do because you know you're going to have at least 10 to 12 people at pretty much every stay. Are there like little things like when you do setup or just if someone is just getting into this? What's the thing that it's like you have to have this for big groups?
I think minutes have been a huge lifesaver for us, decibel readers that
Mhm.
also identify how many devices are online. We've been able to truly, detect early on we might have a problem. The other is StayFi. StayFi so from the point of view of hosting anywhere from 16 to 24 people at these properties on a regular basis for 12 years, 11 years, uh, we used to only have the bookers' information. And we were pretty good early on about getting their information. However, with StayFi, now we are able to 8x, 10x that. So that's really helped with marketing. And, we have kind of like the booker's journey. After someone checks out, they get a trophy. You are officially a purveyor of leisure. It's like we recognize the hardship you went through to find the perfect place. It's really cute. It's this like whole series. And then, of course, it's a campaign, a drip campaign over time that gives them loyalty benefits. And that's the other thing. We do offer 20% discount for all of our bookers. And then guests that also are logging in using StayFi, they get their own journey because most people don't know anything about purveyors of leisure that are coming, right? So like the booker is like may have caught on, maybe looked at the name on the Airbnb account. I don't know. Call me crazy. But at some point, they realize they are working with, a professional outlet and they can find us online easily. However, the guest isn't really thinking, right? I mean, think about it. When you've had somebody, I mean, you probably plan all your vacations like I do, so we can't be actually the target audience here. But if we were just to be a guest, imagine, of a group trip,
Mhm.
we wouldn't know what other homes or properties the group has like access to. And so it's
Yeah.
really a great opportunity to be able to introduce ourselves as purveyors of leisure, introduce the properties to the people that are guests of that large group. So that's been a big game
Mhm.
changer. And they
No,
also
that's
receive a
awesome.
discount too, like in a promotional time frame. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome because those are both things that we use as well. And I agree, like noise detection is far more important than you would think. And it's so funny because we have them in three of our properties. And it's because they're bigger. Like our 1 bedroom, we don't have this problem with.
Right.
We're actually just got a new one for that though, so we're going to. But those big
Right.
properties, it's interesting how you might think that you're just kind of like, nah, they got a vibe. They're gonna totally set that thing off,
Oh,
and it doesn't get
definitely.
set off. And then the least expected, group, you're kind of like, you guys are setting this off. And sometimes we've also found
Definitely.
out that they're so sensitive that if it's raining really hard out, they set like we have an outdoor noise monitor that it gets set off by the rain. So sometimes people are like, oh my God, we're not outside. It's raining. I'm like, it's not
Right.
you. I'm
Not
sorry.
us.
I can't. I don't know what to do. Like I don't know how to program them for if it's raining really hard. Please don't send them a
Yeah.
text message. But it's such a great service to be able to find out, like, I mean, there's different connections within that system that will tell you, hey, it seems like there's probably a lot of people there, and there's
Yeah.
ways for them to find out. And I think it protects our properties and it protects our neighbors and our
That's the
reputation,
main
which is,
thing for us.
oh,
Yes.
yeah,
That has
which
always
is,
been from the beginning. We saw that. I mean, we're in a very ideal tourist destination. It's been Palm Springs area, obviously, has been a destination forever. It
ah,
became it, right? It is the quintessential destination. And so
mhm,
there are lots of vacation rentals. And, as time moved on and people became more and more interested in this as an asset class, there was definitely pushback, and there's definitely people in areas where it's like neighbors for neighbors, and there's this kind of going battle of trying to all work it out together, right? Rent
mhm,
responsibility, all of that. So I think what we've found is when we have had a problem situation with a neighbor, as long as everything was documented, as far, you could start to see the type of person that person was. And it wasn't, that person was not only choosing to give us a hard time, right? It was across the board. And so I think that was kind of an interesting time. And that was really honestly what I call PC, right? Post-COVID, when people were just jumping off bridges and,
Yeah.
going crazy, right? Like just absolutely like stir crazy, and came to the vacation rentals because that was the first places you could gather, and it was bonkers. And yeah, so I think having those things in place, especially the decibel readers, was a huge help. And then we also have outdoor cameras that our visual team monitors. So in other words, if the decibel reader goes off, then we check all the perimeter cameras and make sure it's not things like you said, like the winds or heavy rain. It doesn't rain here, so we have more so heavy rain. I mean, sorry, heavy wind is what we experience. That sounds like howling and hooting and hollering. So, yeah.
It's funny because that's what we do too. We do not touch our cameras unless somebody asks us a question specific about, something on the cameras, or if somebody kind of gives us a notice, which I wish we could like stand on a soapbox, and I wish more Airbnb guests would know. Like, I'm not watching you guys. I got better things to do with my time. I do not care what you're doing at my property. I just need to know if somebody is coming in or out, or those doors. That's all I want covered. I don't care what you do in my backyard. Like, just,
I mean, we built it for you to do all the things in the yard. I mean, that's the whole aspect of our, we're purveyors of leisure. We're not here to have you, have you come and not have a good time.
Yeah.
I mean,
we're not watching. We don't
care.
care.
Courts and, barrel saunas and all types of fun activities. It's the last thing I want to do is prevent people from having fun. Trust me.
Is to watch you guys have fun without me.
Without me. That might be why I'd be more upset.
Yeah. No, absolutely. So, one last question then about big properties. Can you tell me if somebody's setting one up? So we're brand new. I think the noise monitor as well as the Stay-Fi is a really big one. But what about interior? Is there anything that you're just like, you guys started so long ago and I can barely remember when we started sometimes, but I know there are certain things that it's like, man, if this place had 2 fridges, because it needs to have 2 fridges because of this. Like, are there any little setup things that if somebody is launching something like this, like what's a couple of hacks that it's like, oh God, you got to make sure you have this?
Absolutely. We now have 2 dishwashers at all the properties. That's the number one.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. 2 dishwashers. Every garage, which is converted into a beautiful game room, has a commercial refrigerator and freezer. I mean, it's so hot here, Tanya. So when people come here, what do? They go to Costco, they buy a ton of stuff. Everything is hot. And they put it in the fridge and they're like, it's not getting cold. It's like, it's not a magical miracle maker. It's a refrigerator. So we learned early on, like what people want when they get here is cold water, cold beer, whatever it is, cold. And we realized the best way to do that is to have a lot more refrigeration and freezers. So every game room has a whole setup with a commercial fridge and freezer.
Yeah, that's such a fun hack. Like, we have space in one of our big houses that has 2 fridges, and people are super surprised about it. But I've hosted things there. Like, I've hosted family there, I've hosted friends there, and so there's a dozen of us. A dozen people bring a lot of stuff. Like, you'd be surprised. And a dozen people in one fridge is really tough. Like, we have one house that does fit a dozen people, but I don't know where else to put a fridge. I don't have a spot. No, we'd have to put it like in the middle of the dining room, which would not work. But I find this to be interesting, and it's stuff you really have to think of if you want to host big groups, because it's just those kinds of things. Not a ton of people like complain a lot about it, but it's surprising how many people are delighted by it. Like, you just like automatically become a more hospitable host because you're like, I gave you fridge space, you're welcome. And the dishwasher thing, that's a great one too, because it's true. I mean, if you actually do have 24 people in a house, that's 24 dishes every time somebody eats, unless they're bringing paper plates.
It's super appreciated. I know that, I mean, my husband is a private chef and he works at the properties. And so often he'll overhear them talking about how nice it is to have 2 dishwashers or have these refrigerators. So it's kind of fun to hear like what people are saying, kind of like we find out because Yeah.
And sometimes you have to be around to hear those. Like if I happen to be at a property because I need to change something or, a
Right.
battery went dead and I have to pop over there, it's fun because people, when you're standing there, people will always share. Like I will not hear from anybody for weeks
Right.
about a specific house, but if you're there, oh man, you just get
Yes.
like such this beautiful little tidbits of like, oh my God, we love this and we love this. And hey, maybe look at this because it's broken. And yeah,
Right.
it's fun.
Right. No, there's definitely people do, and it's a lot of times we don't necessarily go out of our way for him to say who I am and who he is in the story, right? Because then he gets more information about the house and their experience. If they know
You
that
do
he's
not
the
pretend you're the
property
owner.
manager, right? Yeah, it's pretty funny.
I have a question that just popped into my head. What do you do for coffee at these big properties? Like, do you
Okay,
provide
great
2 or 3
question.
coffee makers? Like, tell
Yes.
me.
So we have 2 standard auto drip out ready with all the coffee, kind of condiments and stuff.
Fixins.
Then we have a Keurig and we have an espresso because everyone has their own favorite coffee maker these days. And it just became, people would ask for, it would always be, I'd buy the Keurig and then people would ask about an espresso. Or I'd buy an espresso and they'd ask about I personally am an espresso person. However, now we just have them all. It just doesn't even make sense. That's the way it's like if you want to bring we can't supply coffee.
I know that was gonna be my next question. So,
yeah.
so do you only supply coffee for the drips, and then you say you got to bring your own
Yeah.
K cups? Do you do some K cups? Do you do some
We don't
Nespresso
do any
pods?
cups. We have reusable cups so that you could, if you didn't bring your own or you hadn't been to the store yet, you can use our coffee in the reusable ones too. But it's we and then we have a 20-cup urn as well. I mean, they're
Oh,
coffee
wow.
ready. Yeah, they're ready. They can,
And then, what about like how much? I know this is sorry, guys. I get to talk to people, and it's my question, so you have to listen to.
You have to deal with it.
How much? How much coffee do you actually leave out? Because again, 24 people, it's a little different than just leaving out some small like single serve bags. So what do you guys
it's
do?
the can. It's a. I don't know what size it is actually. Come to think of it, it's in a can.
Oh, so do you just leave a can out every time, or is it a new can every time?
We use the same can and put the stuff
And then
in
you
it.
just kind of like a refill of like so
Yeah,
just
but it's
coffee
pretty
grounds
big.
that are
It's
like
not like
that.
a little. I don't know what size it is. I'll
Yeah,
get back to you on
no,
that.
I mean, I leave out enough for a long weekend, pretty much at every house. So that
Right.
could be 8 single serve bags. And I think every host is really different when it comes to coffee because somebody might come in there and be like, I'm not using this. It looks like somebody else used it. It's kind of like condiments in the
Yeah.
fridge. Like every host has a very intense opinion of it.
Totally.
And to me as a guest, but I also own Airbnbs, but to me as a guest, I don't care. If you don't want it, then just don't use it. But some
Right.
guests like want to comment on it and that it's gross and they'll say something about it. And it's like,
Well, if it's
you
full
can
every
do whatever.
time, yeah, we haven't had much feedback if it's full because we
Yeah.
fill it to the top. So I think they know that this is a system that we have.
Yeah.
But everything
no.
else is like thought out. So I think, I just think they're just happy to have choices, all these choices.
Yeah,
You know.
no, absolutely. Again, it's just everybody has their own opinions of how they do this. Some people love leaving local coffee that's freshly ground, but you get all the grounds. And then some, we just leave packets because not everybody ends up using it. And
Right.
honestly, we've noticed that sometimes our coffee even like expires because we
Right.
didn't use enough of the packs. And I'm like, oh, I thought everybody drank. I don't even drink coffee, so I'm just winging it.
Okay. Yeah, I drink a lot of coffee and I think a lot of people are drinking coffee too. But yeah, I guess, we've only heard when someone's been like, oh, that's a shame you don't have an espresso maker, we haven't heard anything else. Like, yeah, they're not like going out of their way to thank us for it either. There's so
Yeah,
much
no,
going
no.
on at these houses. I mean, it is a resort. You're in your own private resort. I mean, you have this incredible
That's cool.
pool. You have these amazing, you have beach volleyball, pickleball courts, barrel saunas.
So
I
you
mean,
have
it's
like
ice
super,
plunge.
like they're mega properties.
I mean, this is like you go and people do not leave. They don't leave because
they just hang
first
out
of
there the
all,
whole time.
who wants to leave? I mean, we all know what it's like to go out to dinner with like 8 people. Imagine 18, right? So like they do everything at the house. And so my main, from the very beginning, one of my pet peeves when I'm traveling is when I go to a place and literally there's like 4 glasses. It's like, I'm not going to use 18 glasses, but like at least give me the option to not have to wash my glass if I don't want
Oh,
to.
if I have 18 people, I'm expecting 26 glasses, or if not 32,
I know.
if you
I
have the
do like
counter space, if you
40.
have the
Yeah.
space.
We have a
Yeah,
lot of
because
cabinets though, so it matters on
okay.
space. But yeah. Yeah.
It does matter because you think like you do like maybe when you're setting it up as a host, you don't travel with 15 people very often, but you have to get into the mode of, well, do they have to wash their dishes every single time? Because in a normal house of only four, you probably have 8 to 12 of,
Right.
8 to 12 of
Right.
everything. So,
Yes.
I love that you guys have really thought it out. Can you talk a little bit about your transition into, because now you do some boutique hotel stuff.
That's right.
How has that transition gone? Because those are, to me, they're very different. I've done this. They're
Yes, I
different,
know.
but
They're very
talk
different.
about
And
it.
it is, yeah, it's definitely, I think I mentioned this before on another podcast. It's like, to me, we have the long game with the vacation rentals for, 10 bedroom, 11 bedroom homes. And people plan that, right? Because you have to get together
Mhm.
20 people. So that's like a
Yeah.
3 to 6 month window. Whereas hotel, they're coming like right now. Like they booked probably just right now. And it's this
Yeah.
constant turn of like, we could go from what I'm like, oh, it looks like it's a slow week. And then all of a sudden it's totally getting booked. And I have to like, kind of figure out the housekeeping schedule and all the things. So I think it's that really took me by surprise. Not, I don't know why I didn't think it through, but I had so many other things to think through, right? I had designed we remodeled an 18 unit hotel with a house from top to bottom. And so I was the designer on that. And so that by the time we opened in the end of 24, I was just like, my eyes were crossed. Yeah, I just didn't even know like which way was
Uh-huh.
up. And
Yeah.
like I had a hard time getting Google to accept us as a hotel because we're contactless. We don't have a front desk. And
Hmm.
quite frankly, I finally just had to kind of feign it. Like I had my husband put on a nice shirt behind the like little table, and I said, "Here's the front desk," and that's what I
Yeah.
did.
You
So
do
I
have
mean,
to do
that's
stuff
what
like
you have to
that.
do. And so the irony is, we have these vacation rentals where we have hosts meet people, and then the hotel, you don't meet anyone. So it totally
Actually, that is really ironic. Oh my
and
God,
the
that's so funny.
hospitality on it. Yeah, it's like okay. Yeah, but it's working really well. I mean, I'm a huge tech geek, and so like the whole constantly looking to optimize my tech stack is an ever-changing game. And I do have a virtual team in the Philippines I've had for over 5 years, and there's 4 women, 3 of which have been with me for 4+ years. And it's just really nice to have like people think, oh, it's contactless, they're not going to be able to get something they need. That's not
Hmm.
true. We have people ready to go at any time. If they need something, we have people on call to go run an errand, do something for them. They're usually surprised at how effortless it is. And, you get your door code, you have your privacy. We just added we just converted a building that was on the property into the sanctuary. And that's an infrared sauna and massage chair. And so that's like a free amenity, but you still have to like schedule it. So that's a new thing. We are looking forward to building a platform for like yoga retreats and meditation and things like that. So that the
Awesome.
hotel it has been really challenging from the standpoint of the cadence and understand, really trying to optimize the operation. But
Yeah.
from the check-in process, that's actually going great. So
Yeah.
we'll
That's
figure.
awesome. Oh, I love it. So,
Yeah.
can you talk about a little bit? I think you run some mastermind stuff. This is something that you've done for a while. Can you talk a little bit about like what that means to you, especially being in hospitality? I mean, these things kind of go hand in hand.
Yeah, I mean, well, one, I really appreciate connection, and I also appreciate different points of view, different perspectives. And I think for a lot of us in hospitality, we are sometimes speaking into an echo chamber of, like all the goods and all the pros and all the cons, right? Like, and what I have found with my Connect for Success mastermind group is that we are able to come together as entrepreneurs. It's a women's group. It's been around for 14 years. And I have been involved for probably 12, of which in the last 2, I am now a community leader, which means
Mhm.
I'm licensed to have my own group. And so what I love about it is that, we're really in a time right now where so much change is happening. So much is online, so much optimizing with AI. And this is really a place where we can come together, even though we are online. It started in San Diego, where I used to live. And, it's online, but we also do a lot of different one-day retreats and weekend retreats, things like that, to kind of create that connection in person. And despite it being online, because we have such a great curriculum, the way the themes are shared every month, there's just a lot of connection that is really genuine. And I think for a lot of us, especially entrepreneurs that do not work with a team, right? A lot of people are solopreneurs and have very little, like, we don't have a board of directors available to really bounce off of some, give us some advice. So the aspects of having a group, and this is like, we break out into groups of 12. And so there's a larger group, and then we break out into the groups that we facilitate. And you're with them once a month for 2.5 hours, and you are basically put on a success seat and given your time to ask your question and get some feedback. And so it's been nice, because it's really like, it's fun to be alongside realtors and mortgage brokers and doctors. I mean, just so many different trades, because we're all doing the same thing. We're all trying to optimize our business. We're all trying to market to our avatar. I mean, it's very, business is business, right?
Yeah.
Sell the damn thing, right? So it's good to have, these perspectives, because like outside of our industry, people are doing things that maybe we don't think to do.
Yes. That's my favorite part about networking with other business owners. Like, I have a friend who owns a countertop business. The stuff that she deals with, like that, it's not a direct thing that I can do, but the stuff that she deals with honestly like teaches me on how to deal with other things. And then the things that I deal with, she's not a short-term rental host. So some of the hiring stuff that I talk about for my business is very different from hers, but there are tactics that I do that could totally lend a hand to her. And, vice versa, like the way that we use QuickBooks, there's so many things in business that it's like,
it really is.
And AI too. I mean, there's a new lane of like, I've got a friend who buys commercial buildings and she has mobile home parks. The way she uses AI is very different than the way I use AI. And like, it doesn't mean she's doing it for the thing like functions in her business for operations. It's not for like very human facing things. And it's really fun to see like how we could listen to her talk about it, and then how we could utilize this in our way, in our operations.
Fascinating. I'm completely fascinated by it. I see it. I know there's a lot of controversy around it. However, to me, it's like, it really allows us to be as creative as we are, meaning there's no barrier to entry, right? There's like, if I said to you, I want to learn how to paint, it's like, yes, I could watch YouTube and then I got to buy the stuff. There's something about the creative back and forth with AI that really takes, you're not worried about your limiting beliefs. You're not thinking about, this is stupid. There's something about your authenticity and like really kind of excavating, like in who you are and your authenticity. So I really think it's like an amplifier more than anything. And I use it a lot for creative thinking, creative ideas. And
I think it's fun to see how other people use it creatively. I've got a buddy that built it's not an app, but he built a scavenger hunt, and he used AI to help him build this scavenger hunt. And it is like it's just a QR code in the house that somebody can do. And it's to get them out of the house. Like the scavenger hunt is the neighborhood, because you stay in a really great neighborhood. Right. And he's just like, where is this? And then there's like hints and stuff there. I look at that and I'm like, AI can totally build this in half a day, or like, AI can build it faster. It's just me talking to AI and telling it what I needed. Right. Yeah, completely different. But all because of that, like I think of, I've got a house that's got all kinds of music stuff in it. I could do a scavenger hunt within my house, give it to those guests. And I don't care if 10 guests use it or 100 guests use it. Who cares? It's just the fact that somebody could be delighted by it. And they'll just be like, oh, wow. And that could change the way that they stay at your places. And that's all because you can't I don't know how to build an app, Kim. Are you kidding? I don't have time for this nonsense. But guess what can? Like AI can build you an app though. Like I got friends with apps. I swear everybody's building a new app. Like I've talked to so many hosts building an app for their operations teams. And I'm just like, we now build things so much faster because of AI. So it's really neat to see what other people utilize it for.
Yeah, I love that you brought up the scavenger hunt because there's a little sneak peek into the Global Hospitality Collective Summit coming up at
Yes.
the end of September 2026 in New York, at Brookledge, which is owned by one of our very own Global Hospitality Collective ambassadors, Helen Levine, who's amazing.
Mhm. She
Uh,
is.
I've spent many years in festival production. I used to run a music festival myself called The Bounce. And for years after that, I would work kind of in different departments. And it was pretty much the games and activities area for another festival. And so we were going to be at this beautiful, beautiful venue in nature that used to be a girls' camp. And we kind of had this idea that maybe we would make it really fun. And one of the concepts is that we're all going to be doing some version of a scavenger hunt. And you'll get your, like, you'll have, kind of, everyone will log into an app, most likely, of some sort, where there's like, take a picture by the rock that, blah, blah, like,
Oh,
do
the
whatever,
rock.
right? The rock.
I
You
actually
know
know
that
about
from
the rock.
the
I actually
office.
do
I
know
know.
about the rock
I know
that
you know
Helen
the rock.
has.
Because if you've heard Helen speak about her beautiful venue, you will hear about the rock.
Yep.
And so anyway, but brings me to something I think we can all take from just looking at trends right now. Human connection is at the high, like all of a sudden, and this could be like PC post-COVID, but also a lot because of AI. The need to connect is so deep, right? It's so in us. It's tribal, Tanya. And it literally the festival tickets are selling, festivals are selling out, sales are up in all events that are in real life, in person, you know? And I just think it's like, if for hosts, that's really exciting because people want to be together. That means what? Travel. That means they're curious to wander, like create. There's something about bringing people together, and that's what we do.
Yeah, we're really good at it. And
Think about it.
I think remembering that in your hospitality is a really big deal. It doesn't mean you can't use a host buddy if you don't want to, or if you do
Right.
want to, but
Yeah.
it still means connecting with your guests and making sure that, you're doing those things. And then coming to hang, if you're a host and you're looking for somewhere to hang out, come and hang out with us.
Yes.
When is this again? I think it's the end of
Starts
September.
Yeah, September 20, what did I say? September 27th.
The week of
That week
September
of
27th.
That's correct. Yeah.
So there's a summit going on in upstate New York. You
Not
fly
so much
in, come
upstate.
hang
It's
out.
pretty close. It's about I think
upstate.
it's an hour and 45-minute train from New York City.
Okay, I don't know New York then. I just thought it was upstate.
Well, upstate's real, like, because New York is real, like, people, I feel
big.
bad for the rest of the people in upstate New York because it's literally like a very large state.
Well,
know,
you
it's
can
like-
fly. You can fly into either Saratoga, I think, or maybe if
Saratoga
it's
Springs
Buffalo.
or Albany.
Yep,
Albany.
Albany. You fly into
Yeah.
Albany, you come hang out with us for a few days. It's at an adult summer camp. Or like it used to be a girls' camp. Now it's an actual like wedding venue and
Right.
beautiful space that has
Gorgeous.
short-term rentals on it. It's got all of this stuff. So come and hang out with us if you want to talk shop, because obviously we love talking shop.
Yes.
And
Absolutely.
connect with people. So Kim, if somebody wants to come find you, if they want to see your properties, just in general, if they want to reach out, how do they do that?
Best way is LinkedIn under Kim Herrlein, my name. If you're interested in the rentals, Purveyors of Leisure, it's probably one of the hardest series of words to spell. And
It is.
had
Write
I
it
thought
down.
about how many times I would have to enunciate and spell it, I would have chosen probably a different name. It's like those weird English words where the E and the I do something, and then purveyors is a very old English word. So it's been tough. Like anytime I call a vendor and I'm asking them to send an invoice to us, it's just like, oh gosh, here we go. P as in
Kim,
Peter.
it's the same
U
as your name. It's the same as your name though, because Kim Herrlein, it does
Yeah,
not look like
it doesn't. That's
Herline.
funny.
I wish it did. I wish it was, but it's
I
not.
know it's not.
But for the folks listening that actually want to find her, just check the show notes. I'll put all of that stuff down there. I'll put her Instagram links as well as her LinkedIn. And if there's something that you want to reach out to Kim for, you should. She does motel stuff, hotel stuff, and then big properties. And I am very excited to now go click around your properties because I haven't seen the one that has all the stuff that you're talking about, that you
Yeah.
have pickleball courts and all of these things. I might have to just like go out there.
Well,
Sometimes it's
that
a
would be
bummer.
fun.
It would be, but sometimes it's a bummer because some of the people that have like some of the coolest properties, it's like, well, two people aren't going to just go stay there. Like it would
Right.
be awkward.
Well, we could
Two
consider
people in
though
the
a
24.
retreat of some sort. I know
No,
like in the
absolutely.
past, we've added like a wellness retreat after one of the summits. We've done that. So I mean, there's options. I mean,
Yeah,
I
it
love
totally
hosting
is.
retreats and I love producing events, so it's right up my alley. I would be so grateful if we all got together and did something like that in one of the houses in Palm
Yeah,
Springs area.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, people just watch our profiles. I'm sure that something will happen.
And then one last thing I did want to mention is that I am really looking to build out more of my Always Receptive brand, which is virtual front desk solutions for hotels. So it's
Oh,
literally, something that's what we do in Wyoming for another owner. And it's just really great to be involved in even if you're thinking about what tech stack. I mean, we've been through it. And so I'd love to work with people who are either just closed, really trying to figure out what their next steps, what their operation looks like. We can help.
no, absolutely. That's really good to know. I'll drop that in there as well with the website. And
Yeah, thank
yeah,
you.
for folks listening, if you took anything out of this, let us know. We would love to hear any feedback, comments. If you loved it, give us a 5-star review. If you didn't like it, skip that whole entire portion of life and leave us alone. Because
Don't
we
give
love
us a
5
3.
stars. Please don't give us a 3.
Please
Please
do
just
not give us a
don't.
3.
Okay? We just prefer you just gave us the feedback of why you hate us and then moved on with your life. So, without
Uh,
with all of that, thank you so much for the time today, Kim. Listeners, I hope this was helpful. And if you like us, subscribe. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Tanya.
That's it for this episode of the Global Hospitality Collective podcast. If today's conversation made you think, inspired you, or just reminded you why hospitality matters, make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. Next week, our panel, Helen, Rose, Debbie, and myself are back, and we're going beyond the listings and the tech, diving headfirst into real stories, the hard decisions, and yes, all those weird and wacky guest experiences you won't believe are true. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. Thanks for listening, and as always, keep hosting with heart. See you next time.